Dear students, welcome to my channel Astropharma. Today we are going to discuss about the angina pectoris and myocardial infarction, which are ischemic heart diseases related to heart. So first we will go on discussing angina pectoris. So angina pectoris is a clinical syndrome of ischemic heart disease resulting from transient myocardial ischemia. It is characterized by paroxysmal ischemia in the substernal or precordial region of the chest. Next point, pain aggravated, that means increased in the demand of heart. Pain aggravated by an increase in the demand of heart. Pain relieved by decrease in the work of the heart. So heart work increased means pain increases, heart work decreased means pain decreases. The pain radiates to left arm, neck, jaw or right arm. So these are the locations to which the pain radiates. Three overlapping patterns of angina pectoris are reported. One is stable or typical angina. Second one is prismatal variant angina. Third one is unstable angina. So these three anginas, you can see the diagram. Angina, unstable angina, thrombus formation is the major cause. Chronic stable angina, fixed stenosis is the major cause. Prismatal variant angina, vasospasm is the major cause. So angina is classified into three types based on the vasospasm, fixed stenosis, thrombus formation. So this is about three angina types. And in case of unstable angina, in ECG we can see significant non-ST segment elevation will be reported. So this is the major identifying parameter in ECG. Next, let us discuss about the myocardial infarction, which is also called as a heart attack. Acute myocardial infarction is the most important consequence of coronary heart disease. Many patients die within the first few hours of onset. Dominant etiologic factor is coronary atherosclerosis. Age occurs in all age groups. Higher incidence in the elderly people. And male are higher risk of developing MI as compared to females. Next, subheading, etiopathogenesis of MI. First one is severe coronary atherosclerosis is the major cause, etiological factor. Then 90% cases well documented MI by autopsy studies and by coronary angiographic studies. Then next, mechanism of myocardial ischemia. So myocardial ischemia occurs by three processes. First is diminished coronary blood flow is the first cause. Second one is increased myocardial demand. Third point is hypertrophy of the heart without simultaneous increase of coronary blood flow. So heart muscle enlargement is there, but increase of blood flow to the heart muscles is less. Then in myocardial infarction, what are the sequence of events happens? First one is role of platelets. So platelet adhesion will be taking place and the liberation of platelets is taking place. Second one is complicated plaque formation. So plaque, embolus, thrombus, these are all called as plaques. So plaques formation which are blocking the blood vessels. Third one is followed by, this plaque formation is followed by superimposed coronary thrombosis, which in turn causes intramural hemorrhage. Then non-atherosclerotic causes are smoking, diabetes, hypertension. All these are supporting for the myocardial infarction. Then this infarction, mainly transmural and subendocardial infarctions, are reported in the majority of the myocardial infarction patients. Types of infarcts. According to anatomic region of the left ventricle involved, anterior, posterior, lateral, septal, circumferential, combined of all these, all these 3 4 combined, anterolateral, posterolateral, anteroseptal, etc. So based on the zone of the heart involved, all this classification, anterior, posterior, lateral, septal, circumferential, etc. are reported. According to degree of thickness of the ventricular valve involved, infarcts are also classified. Full thickness is also called as a transmural. Subendocardial is called as a laminar infarcts. According to age of infarcts, two types. Newly formed infarcts is called as acute infarcts, recent or fresh infarcts. Advanced infarcts, old, healed or organized infarcts. So two types of infarcts, acute infarcts and chronic infarcts. Next, location of infarcts mainly found in the myocardial infarction. Three regions, that means three major blood vessels where the infarction or infarcts will appear, blockages will appear. See the diagram below. Then first one, stenosis of the left anterior descending coronary artery. 40 to 50% of patients, you can notice the left anterior descending coronary artery. So see the diagram, left anterior descending coronary artery, 40 to 50% patients you can get the myocardial infarction. Second one is stenosis of the right coronary artery, 30 to 40%. So right coronary artery, 30 to 40% patients will get the myocardial infarction. Stenosis of the left circumflex coronary artery. So 15 to 20% patients will get the blockage or infarcts will observe in the circumflex coronary artery. So three major arteries, that is left anterior descending coronary artery is the first, 40 to 50%, then right coronary artery is 30 to 40%, then circumflex coronary artery is 15 to 20%. So these three major arteries, their percentage, you can notice the myocardial infarction will be appearing and reported. Then contrasting features of subendocardial and transmural infarcts. So this is important. Why? Means these two types of infarcts will appear in the myocardial patients. First features, definition of transmural infarcts, full thickness and solid, whereas subendocardial infarcts, inner third to off and patchy. Then frequency of transmural infarcts, most frequent, that is 95% frequent transmural infarcts, whereas subendocardial infarcts is very less frequent. Then distribution, specific area of coronary supply will be affected in the transmural infarcts, whereas circumferential area is affected in case of subendocardial infarcts. Then pathogenesis, more than 75% coronary stenosis will be there in the transmural infarcts, whereas in case of subendocardial infarcts, hypoperfusion of myocardium is reported. Then coronary thrombosis, if you compare thrombosis between the two infarcts, coronary thrombosis, transmural infarct, common thrombosis is common, whereas subendocardial infarcts, rare thrombosis. Then epicarditis, that means heart muscles affected. Transmural infarcts common, whereas subendocardial infarcts, epicarditis is not reported. So these are the features compared between the transmural infarcts and subendocardial infarcts. Next, sequential pathologic changes in myocardial infarcts, time duration of myocardial affected heart attack, gross changes, light microscopy. So 0 to 6 hours, 6 to 12 hours, 24 hours. So first up to 24 hours you can see what is the changes happening in the heart. So heart muscles, waveness of fibers, coagulation necrosis, neutrophilic infiltration, edema and hemorrhages, and these are reported for first 24 hours. So neutrophils, coagulation and edema is reported. Then 48 to 72 hours you can see coagulation necrosis and neutrophil infiltration again continued. Up to 4 days you can see the neutrophil infiltration. Then 7th day of heart attack, after heart attack 7th day, beginning of resorption of necrosized fibers. So necrosed fibers by macrophages, so engulfing of necrosized fibers by macrophages. Then second week, after first week, second week, you can see the necrosed muscles in a small infarct removed, fibrovascular reaction, pigmented macrophages, eosinophils and lymphocytes, plasma cells appears. So eosinophils, which are chronic inflammatory molecules, allergic molecules, lymphocytes and plasma cells will appear on the 10th day. Then 14th day, fibrocollagenic tissue will be appearing in the periphery. Then third week, first week, second week over, then third week, necrosed muscle fibers from large infarcts removed, more ingrowth of fibrocollagen tissue. So fibrocollagen tissue is reported in the third week. Then fourth to sixth week, you can see fibrocollagen tissue decreases vascularity due to increased fibrocollagen tissue. Few pigmented macrophages, lymphocytes and plasma cells will be reported. So this is how from the first week to the sixth week what changes happens in the heart muscles and changes of different molecules, inflammatory molecules appears. This is called pathogenesis of myocardial infarction. And you can see here transmural infraction, evolution of myocardial infarction. So here A, B, C, D, E, F. So this 5 evolution of acute MI diagram, you can see A, B, C, D, E, F. So A is normal ECG, B is hyperacute ECG, then C is marked ST elevation in subacute T, then pathologic Q waves changes in the D, and E you can see pathologic Q waves, T waves inversion. So you can see C is transmural injury, D is necrosis, E is necrosis and fibrosis, F is only fibrosis. So this is how the changes happens and we can notice in the ECG. Then next, diagnosis of myocardial infarction. 3 parameters. One is clinical features, ECG changes, serum enzyme determination. So first one, clinical features. So clinical features, you can see here diagram also you can compare. Pain will be the major criteria first, then indigestion, apprehension. Apprehension means fear of death. Person is going to fear that he is going to die, like that fear will be started. Shock, respiration decreases, respiratory shock. Oliguria, decreased or no urine secretion in the kidney may happens, that is urine decreases. Then low grade fever, then acute pulmonary edema will be reported. And you can see here chest pain, headache, difficulty breathing, nausea, indigestion, upper back pain, sweating, vomiting, stomach pain. So these are all the clinical features of the myocardial infarction patient. Dear students, welcome to my channel Astropharma. Today we are going to discuss about the angina pectoris and myocardial infarction, which are ischemic heart diseases related to heart. Next, complications of myocardial infarction. So first one is arrhythmia, that means irregular heartbeats, increase or decrease of heartbeats happens. The second one is congestive heart failure. So and due to congestive heart failure, left heart failure or right heart failure may happen after the myocardial infarction. Then cardiogenic shock, sudden death due to cardiogenic shock. Then mural thrombosis and thromboembolism may be reported after the myocardial infarctions. Then rupture, blood capillaries may rupture in the heart, that is one of the complication. Then cardiac aneurysms may appear, bulging of the blood vessels may appear, aneurysms. Then pericarditis, inflammation of the heart layers, inflammation of heart layers may be reported. Then post myocardial infarction syndromes may be reporting. So this is how the after the myocardial infarctions these complications will appear in a patient. Thank you. Study well.